What's up, everybody? Got a great episode of Six Man Blitz for you guys today. So many things to talk about. Deshaun Watson, if you're a woman, probably not watching the NFL anymore. Let's be real. Bill Russell sadly passing away. That's one thing we're going to talk about right now. Get into it, give him his flowers. Did so much things for the game, the NBA, so many things as a big man, dominant. Joel Embiid before Joel Embiid. He did it first before any big man. And even though he was playing some Target employees, some UPS workers, you name it. Some guys that had 95s before the game that night. So what were your thoughts on that?
I mean, we lost an icon, literally one of the most influential people to ever walk this earth. When you talk about his impact in American history, not only from a sports perspective, but also in the civil rights and being a catalyst, being one of the first Black players in the league, and then also being a coach, still willing to put your job aside to fight a civil matter. So that, hats off to him. He's really LeBron and Michael combined. If you look at it from as a player, he never lost.
Never lost.
He never lost.
But he was really the only Black player in the NBA. But
he played well, boy. He never lost. Then he was a player coach. Come on now. And then you look at it from his outside of the game, the influence he had in the civil rights movement. I mean, damn,
he did it all.
To be doing that in Boston too. I mean, in that day and age where the reputation of Boston precedes itself. So
everybody knows about Boston.
Damn, get off their ass. But no, we lost a legend, but he lived a long, very impactful life. And he's changed the generations before him and after him. So hats off to him. I'm sure he has a mansion in heaven right now.
Got a nice spot in heaven. Dunking on people, dunking on Jesus, probably. What? But now, so should his jersey be retired? Number 6, should they retire across the whole NBA? Nobody can wear 6 no more, you think?
I mean, he ain't really known for 6. Like, how Jordan is known for 23.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody alive remembers what Bill Russell number was. So I don't think there's a number associated to his name.
Yeah.
Although that would honor his legacy. I just feel like there's a better way to do it.
Yeah, he deserves a lot more than that.
Right. I need a little bit more than that.
Couple everything.
Yeah, he definitely needs some statues for sure.
But now let's transition into some college football. We haven't talked about that much on the show, but college football is creeping up.
Yeah,
it's coming soon. Now, so let's get into a prediction for your 4 playoff teams. Who you got? 4
playoff teams in college? I mean, you honestly, of course, Bama, of course, Georgia.
The other 2, that's where it gets tricky.
No,
won't be Clemson.
I think it's Ohio State for sure. But to come out of that, I do like USC as a dark horse, especially in a bad conference. You look at, I doubt Cincinnati is gonna do anything, losing that much senior leadership on both sides of on the field. So that 4th team, it could be USC, it could be Notre Dame. No, it won't be Oklahoma. Could be Michigan. If could you imagine if USC, the Big 12 is essentially out with Oklahoma. I mean, we'll see that new coaching staff, and we'll see what happens in Texas with them. But I don't see anybody in the Big 12 making it. So if USC doesn't go undefeated, they're not getting in. So you could have 2 of the super conferences playing:
SEC,
Michigan, Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia. I don't know a college football fan that wouldn't be happy with that.
I'd be okay with that. 2 of the dominant conferences. It would settle the debate. Which one's better in this year?
Oh, there's no debate.
Yeah, SEC would take that one.
No question.
But which team out of those 4 would you be the most confident in winning the playoff next year. It's easy to say Georgia might run it back.
It's easy
they
to
lost
say
a lot on their defense. Alabama, another year with Bryce Young, Will Anderson, Heisman finalist, probably again next year. So what you think about that?
I think the only team that can compete with the SEC right now is Ohio State. And they're really the only ones that have outside of Clemson. So when you look at it from that perspective and the talent they're bringing back at quarterback, obviously we'll get into that later, and at receiver, and they have just as much talent as Alabama and Georgia. It's just a matter of them clicking on the right cylinders. And last year they put on an absolute show in the Rose Bowl, and had a young team, right? So they're gonna put up video game numbers, probably even more so, because it looks like they damn near don't even need to run the ball.
Could they be like LSU, how they were with the receivers, how that like put up that kind of success, you think?
Absolutely. No? I mean, look at Ohio State in the past. They've done it before. The year they won the chip, they had NFL superstars on that offensive roster.
Ezekiel Elliott.
Come on now, and they absolutely plummeted Alabama, which you only see a handful of times. So they have the talent to do it. They have the coaching staff. It's just about being able to click at the right time and not have any setbacks at the wrong time.
Now let's transition into who is your Heisman winner going to be next season. I know who mine is. You can go first though.
My first decision was Ohio State's quarterback. Okay. But you could see Bryce Young, obviously. I mean, every damn offensive weapon is probably 3 deep with pros at Bama. So he's got
a little bit
weapons
of
on top of weapons on top of weapons. And that boy put on a show last year. Mm-hmm. Watching those last 2 championship games, the boy is talented. He can throw it he's like A-Rod, but a minier version. So
light skin version.
Right. And he can wiggle a little bit. So
I'm excited to see what he does this year too. But I think Caleb Williams going to USC, Lincoln Riley staying with him, and then they got like the top receiver transfer guy from Pittsburgh putting up big numbers.
Damn.
He was a really good receiver at Pittsburgh, but not too many people, watch Pittsburgh games.
I watch Pittsburgh. Shout out to the ACC. Pittsburgh puts good football on tape.
I ain't watched Pittsburgh games since James Conner was there. I'm gonna be honest.
They just had biggest. Kenny Pickett, you're right, Kenny Pickett. He wasn't he the first quarterback took?
Yeah, he was.
So come on now.
Quarterbacks this last draft.
Who they playing the bowl game? Penn State, right?
Yeah, I think so. So they just got that guy, that receiver, who's going to do big numbers. And I think this USC team, you bring in Lincoln Riley. That's the best position for Caleb Williams to flourish. So I'm excited to see what they do. And Pac-12, they're gonna do some things in that conference. Lincoln Riley and Caleb Williams
over there.
I mean, you could make the argument that the Big 12 is a harder conference. Let's be honest.
Oh, it is. I think so.
More defense in that conference.
There's no question in my mind the Big 12 is better than Pac-12.
So I think he'll flourish. That's my pick. I got Caleb Williams.
I like that
pick. Bryce Young, right?
No, what's
CJ Stroud?
CJ Stroud. Shout out to CJ.
But let's transition over to the NFL. Deshaun Watson, 6-game suspension. What do we think about this?
Oh, man. It's a loaded ass question.
You say the wrong thing, everybody at your neck.
It's a loaded ass question. I feel like the amount of alleged victims was a lot, and there was a lot of information that they had to sort through, I feel like. So the fact that they came to that verdict is interesting, because one thing, it's hard. I think it's hard for someone outside of the NFL to understand what a game is really worth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, for her, 6 games might mean a lot, but if you're not in the football atmosphere, 6 games really, it could be a lot, it could be a little, but 6 games is any given Sundays. Shoot, you've seen what happened with Baltimore. I mean, as soon as Lamar Jackson got hurt, their season went the opposite way in Arizona too.
AFC, they were the best team in the AFC at that point.
6 games can make a huge difference. So,
and it's
I think he should have got a year personally, but I'll leave it up to the experts to decide. Although the NFL has an absolutely horrible track record when it comes to these, but they're using an independent party, which is the retired judge, who ruled on the case, and she felt it was harsh. Actually, those were her words. So she, and it's just interesting to see everybody's definition of certain words. So obviously, thoughts and prayers to the victims, and
yeah, they definitely need whatever. You really can't give justice to this because you can't go back in a time machine and take that moment away. But it's sad to see something like that happens to you, and you see the guy, get off kind of scotch-free with the 6 games. But definitely prayers out to them. But I really think this judge, what they did with this, is they were trying to get back at some old misconduct, other people that got a little more than they should have. You're looking at Deshaun Watson getting 6 games.
It's so interesting to think about because you would think the NFL is so cognizant of their brand and the things they've done wrong that they knew they had to
get this one
right. And perception is reality. They wanted to get him a year, whether it was true, false, or indifferent, because they knew everybody would be satisfied with that. I feel like, because I would be, but just looking at it from a business perspective, they're gonna make the decision based on their bottom dollar. So they're appealing it. I think they're going to go ahead and appeal it. So
and it comes down to what Goodell says. It's his word. If he
Oh really?
Yeah, that's what they said. It comes down to if he wants to give him the 12-game suspension, he gives it to him. But it's really though, you think about it though. I saw some of what Watson's lawyers and stuff were saying that was reported that they were coming hard on it because look, you got these owners that are doing bullshit and you want to hold the owners to the same higher standard than the players. You got owners that are doing shit with cheerleaders and shit that get swept under the rug. Nothing happens to them. So really, you can't really give Watson more than you're not giving the owners.
And that's one thing the judge did say. Her decision was based on their prior cases in the decades of cases that they've had. And you look at what happened to Robert Kraft after he got caught up in the massage studio.
Ain't had to
swept that shit right under the rug. And that shit was illegal. So so
that shit was criminal, not civil.
Exactly. So I mean, damn. And then you look at the 600,000 emails. John Gruden was just emailing himself and shit. He just talking to himself, so nobody was hyping him up yeah, fuck him for real, bro.
It's just emailing shit like that.
You know what I'm saying? So the NFL is a funny business. The thing is, it's a billionaire's playground, so they make the rules at the end of the day. They're only dealing with this PR stuff because they have to. So you gotta, like I say, you gotta look at it from the business perspective also.
And I don't think a lot of people are looking at it from that aspect.
And who wants to? I mean, they're billionaires.
You don't really know too much about the owners either, unless it's a big scandal.
Why you think that?
Billionaires in this world, to be honest, you don't really know shit about them, what they do every day. Unless it's Elon Musk is trying to buy Twitter and shit, nobody really pays attention to what billionaires are doing. Because they don't put that shit on social media. They don't the people that got the most money aren't out there posting their day-to-day lives and shit. So it makes you wonder. what these fucking billionaires are doing.
Right. That's why I'm trying to stay low key. I ain't at a B yet, but
it's always good to stay low key, move in silence, do your own thing, not show everybody your move because they'll know your next move kind of thing,
Right.
But let's go to a happier segment. A happier news. Deebo Samuel got paid. Now,
right.
This is something that's been in the works for a minute. He's been holding out, them having those contracts. He wanted to get traded and stuff, but it's exciting to see a guy like this get paid because seeing what he does with this 49ers offense, I think it can't be replicated anywhere else. I think he can only do this with the 49ers. He's a dynamic player, great player, but his best spot to do this kind of shit is with the 49ers and the 49. It's like it benefits both sides, the player and the team. So I'm really excited to see him in San Francisco for years to come. But do you think this success he had this year is something he can maintain and do consistently?
That's a good question because you look at, yes, he got paid, but the amount of years was kind of light. 3 years. 3 years, sure. That don't really mean shit in the NFL. 2 years and a maybe, 2 years and a possible. That's what that sounds like. So, he's getting a dollar amount that he deserves, no question, and I'm happy for him from that. But the contract says it all. Hey, the rate at which we're using you and the way we're using you is not a long-term plan.
Yeah, you might not be good in 3 years. You might be.
Look, that boy, and then if you look at the contract, he has rushing clauses in there. Like he has incentives if he hits a certain amount of yards rushing, and touchdowns rushing. So they're telling him, hey, we're going to pay you good, but not long. And we're also going to incentivize you to run the ball. So your mentality, you're getting dollars when you're taking them blows up the middle. They had him running fucking ISO and counters and at first they were keeping it mostly outside of the box, but once the season started to get later, it was
3rd and 1.
Good God, he's a receiver. I know he Deebo, but damn, that's not a long-term plan. No, and the contract says that.
But now, heading into preseason, heading into seeing some rookies play. First football is back, almost like it's back Thursday. The Raiders and who else plays? The Raiders and
shoot, I don't know.
It's a Hall of Fame game. Ain't nobody gonna watch this shit, but if football is back, that's what we're excited about. But who are some rookies, some other guys trying to prove it, some guys in the preseason you're most looking forward to watch?
Yeah, that's a good question. Obviously, you can say Justin Fields getting his first opportunity to really
with this new offense too,
really be the leader of the offense. So I'm excited to see that, of course. I'm excited to see the Tennessee quarterback as well. Malik Willis. Definitely excited to see him. I'm excited to see what comes out of New Orleans too. Chris Olave, absolutely. And what are they gonna do at quarterback? They gonna put the same team out there offensively that they did last year. That shit was hard to watch. I ain't gonna lie to you, especially when Jameis got hurt.
And when Jameis was playing, though, the Saints were playing at a high level. And it's going to be exciting to see Michael Thomas get back out there.
That's another guy.
Jarvis Landry is back in New Orleans.
Yes.
I might even, Odell Beckham might even come back to the Saints. What you think about that? If they get all of the Louisiana boys back in town, that would be nice.
Odell, shit, he'll make a decision like that.
He would.
He got the ring now. Shit, he'll play, reunite with Jarvis and Louisiana, so that makes sense. And the Saints are quietly building a good team. They just got to see, but I don't think you can beat Tampa Bay in that division, although they have 2 years in a row.
Tampa Bay is getting beat up too, like with all the injuries that are happening.
That's fair.
It's Saints can win that division. That was one of my hot takes, I think.
Really?
Was the Saints are
going to win that division? The Saints ain't winning that division.
They beat the Bucs twice a year. They usually have Tom Brady's number. The Panthers aren't going to do shit. Baker Mayfield might not even win the job now. Looking like Darnold's beating him.
Oh, yeah. I'm not surprised about that. Look at the trade value. Well, he was out there just hanging around. He requested a trade and ain't nobody want his ass.
But now, like looking at that trade position, like quarterbacks getting traded and stuff. Baker got dealt. Jimmy Garoppolo still hasn't been dealt. What do you think about that? He says he's all healed with the surgery and stuff, but where could you see him go now? Is there any other options? The Seattle doesn't really want him.
I mean, the crazy thing is, this is what you really understand your value in the market when you're available for the trade and people aren't willing to give up the necessary assets to get you.
Shit, no, it's good when Jaylen Brown.
You look at his contract, that motherfucker ain't cheap. He ain't cheap either. So now we got to trade for you, and we got to take on that big ass contract, and you're not even gonna play half the games anyways. Shit. Like, damn.
When he does play, he wins, but. Yeah, like you bring up that point,
like Kyle Shanahan is the damn quarterback of that team. Get the hell out of here, bro.
It's a good argument, but
man, damn, that offense is phenomenal and that O-line is outstanding. So,
but if that's true, Nick Mullins couldn't do shit with the 49ers. They couldn't win games.
He was putting numbers up though.
They couldn't win games.
He was putting numbers up.
It was a different team when Nick Mullins was in there. Jimmy G, his cute smile, his perfection.
But look at how god awful his 2-minute was those last two games. I mean, what the hell was that?
He needs basically.
They had the ball. Right. Like, if you're an elite quarterback, you cannot give them the ball the last in the game with the chance to just kick a field goal to tie it or win it all.
Because he'll do that. He won't score a touchdown to win the game. He'll kick a field goal to win the game. Jimmy G?
No, he didn't. In the playoffs, his ass shit a brick. And it just looked god awful. So no, he will not do that. That's what I'm saying. He's not elite.
But I really am fond of Jimmy G. I think he's a great person. He's a good person, but not the best quarterback, average kind of quarterback. But I think
serviceable.
He gets the job done. Serviceable, right?
But not for that. What they trying to? How much his contract is worth?
Nah, yeah, the 49ers trying to get something back. Especially if Seattle, if they try to trade him to the Seahawks, they want at least a lot back because you're trading him to a rival,
Right. Especially with Seattle, shoot, they got pieces up there.
They could do something. If they had not Geno Smith and Drew Lock at quarterback.
Geno tried to do his thing that one game until he got hurt.
Oh, yeah. But you mentioned, Jimmy G not having, like, you see your value when people ain't trying to trade for you and come up with the assets. Jaylen Brown, then KD, that is good. That shows him his value then, right? That's what I was trying to mention.
No, yeah, 1,000%. But even that wasn't enough for the Nets. They're like, no, we want Marcus Smart too.
and Robert Williams. and
Robert Williams. So I'm gonna keep saying this. My prediction was correct. The Nets were never going to trade KD. Like, what the fuck? Bro, we got you for 4 years. You're the best player in the league. Why on God's green? We have everything we need to win now. Why will we blow that up? Because you unhappy. You signed a 4-year deal, bro.
It's a long-term contract.
Come on now. Now it's in KD's court. Is he going to sit out? Does he really want to be traded?
Shit. You can't sit out for 4 years, can you? Nobody has ever done it yet.
No, but I'm talking about training camp. We'll see.
Yeah. He's not that type of guy to sit out.
Exactly. So they're calling his bluff.
Professional. But now let's get into some rapid fire takes. Let's bring them back. We would usually do like up to 10 questions, but we're doing 5 now, keeping it short and brief. But these are some heavy questions. Okay. I'll let you know. Now let's get into the first rapid fire question.
Okay.
Now, leading the franchise, would you rather be a GM or a coach? This is a dynasty too. So like a team that always
wins. You asking me or the average person?
I'm asking you.
So I would say everybody's skills are different. So some people's skill set falls more in line with coaching. Others would be in a GM. And I think I would GM, no question. I love crunching the numbers, cutting deals, building teams and putting a product out there that's well built, not only financially, but from a talent perspective. So
I like that answer. GM, I feel like, yeah, you got the most control. You hire the person to get the job done. So it's not really all on you, but unless you're Ryan Pace, it's all on you. And Matt Nagy, he's doing his thing at the Falcons, bringing a lot of old Bears back, everybody that played for the Bears, all his mistakes.
I will say teams, every team's different, though. Their relationship, coach to GM, is totally different. Look at New England, obviously, Bill Belichick. That's
definitely a
run the
interesting
ship.
relationship.
So, it can fluctuate. So we'll see. Every team's different. Every relationship is different. So for me, if all things are considered, I'd be a GM.
Yeah, whenever I play Madden, I go in franchise mode. I always do GM. I don't do coach because you GM, you get to do all the shit. But the coach, you get to do some shit. But yeah, GM, you get the whole ship and you get to control it. Even though you're the coach, you get to control it a little bit, but you still got to listen to the GM and what he says and what he thinks.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get into the next rapid fire question. If you could form a big three in the NBA, out of all the stars in the NBA right now in this league today, what big three would you have?
So, of course, I got to start at the top with Giannis and KD.
Ooh, those are your two guys already, right?
Of course.
KD's not selfish, so that would work. Him and Giannis would work.
And probably Luka.
That shit is too OP. That shit, Adam Silver would not let that happen.
Of course he wouldn't, but I'm answering your question.
Okay. I see what kind of dude you
are. Of course he would.
You turn off all the trades. You turn off all the shit, forcing trades and shit. But my big three would be Jimmy Butler.
Okay.
Kawhi Leonard.
All right.
And Paul George. I like those three together. Three defensive monsters and stuff. You got Paul George who's going to be your scorer. Kawhi Leonard's going to go GOAT mode. He's going to close. And Jimmy Butler can take a breather and give you 40-point game nights when he has to. I think that's a crazy big three.
Bro, Jimmy Butler and Kawhi Leonard are like polar opposites. Jimmy Butler get in your motherfucking face trying to fight just because you're not giving it your everything. Whereas Kawhi ain't even gonna practice today. Come on now. I'm a cyborg. Man, come on now. Stop playing.
But I'm Jordan. For championship-wise, it would work. Jimmy Butler, obviously he would take the back seat as a leader because, Kawhi Leonard's the better player. What team has Jimmy Butler been on where he's not the best player? We can go back to some of those D Rose days. But Jimmy Butler,
he wasn't the best player.
He was the leader, though. He was He was a leader.
Fair enough.
Because Joel Embiid was the better player. Well, Joel
Embiid wasn't
even his MVP time that year. But Jimmy Butler was also a closer during that time, too.
Mm-hmm.
And Jimmy Butler's closer in Miami, too, now. If Jimmy Butler and Kawhi Leonard play together now, Kawhi Leonard would be the closer because we know Kawhi Leonard closes games out. And it would be interesting to see Jimmy Butler operate with those two other guys because all of them can defend, and it would just be interesting to see how that would work. And that's
why Paul George?
He could play defense.
You just picked three old heads. What about the new generation?
All right, you want a new generation one? I'll give you a new generation one. All right, Joel Embiid.
Okay, fair.
Big man, best big man in the game. Trae Young. Lob threat. And then I would probably get a 3-and-D kind of guy. Probably Tatum.
Yeah, of course.
Trae Young, Tatum.
Tatum was gonna be one of mine, but I'm like Luka or Tatum. I don't know. Based on the two guys I picked first, I feel like Luka would be because he's gonna facilitate, but he's also a very ball heavy. But so is Giannis. So.
But you put Luka on that Celtics team, I think they win the finals. You switch.
Oh yeah.
You switch him and Luka for Tatum.
I don't want to say that.
I think they do because some of the games Tatum played bad in. Luka's
at this point in their career, yes, because Luka is clutch as fuck, and he gonna give your ass 40
every night.
It don't matter if y'all can sweep him. He's still gonna give you 40, 10, and 11 shit.
And like you think like the nights he plays bad, it's like his shooting percentage is bad as well. Like shoots, field goal percentage, all that stuff is bad. But he still gives you 36.
Right.
It's not really a too off of a night.
Yeah, he's a cheat code.
But now the next rapid fire question: what is the greatest sports movie of all time to you?
To me, of course.
It's not to the average person, but to you.
Of course, that's a tough one. My favorite, I think, is honestly any Adam Sandler sports movie. You can't go wrong with. I do like. Give me an honorable mention though.
Okay, I'll give you one honorable mention.
What was the one he just did with KG?
Uncut Gems. That was a really good one.
A real good sports movie. But I ain't. That's just an honorable mention.
Okay.
But obviously, it's gotta go. You gotta go with Waterboy. I mean,
that's the number one.
Yes.
Final answer.
I mean, you look at that movie. It was really, just it changed the way we looked at football. It was just super entertaining. Specifically, it being based out of Louisiana, that shit was hysterical because most of the rest of America doesn't really see, what Louisiana is like, and to have all those characters, that shit was hilarious. And then the football aspect, it's hard to movies and TV shows can do a really bad job with the football and the sports scene.
All American.
I will not watch it for that reason.
It's not even about football anymore. It's about drama now.
Yeah, I can't watch nothing where the sports scenes look ridiculous. Like they playing basketball and there's 5 white dudes on the court. Shit. Where does this happen? So
doesn't make sense.
They did a great job with that movie, and the football scenes are phenomenal. So especially in the Bourbon Bowl. So hilarious movie. I will watch it to this day. So that's mine for sure.
That's a great choice, but I think I got my honorable mention. One of my favorites of all time, Glory Road. No matter that's one I'll watch consistently.
That's
I'll watch
too deep though. I don't like deep movies like that. I can't watch deep movies over and over and over again.
And it's just Remember the Titans, but basketball.
Remember the Titans.
That's another movie. Denzel Washington did his shit.
Denzel.
And all the actors in it. That was pitch perfect. But my real number one, it's got to be Friday Night Lights. That's another movie.
Yes.
For high school football games, you turn on high school Friday Night Lights. Movie Miles did his thing. That was probably one of the beginning of his acting career. That acting.
Oh yeah, he took off like a rocket after that. So that's an excellent movie.
And
I did watch that a lot. The football scenes are really good.
Really good.
That's another reason why I like it. That shit was really good. And then to see Texas football like that, because Texas is. This shit is different. They
not compared to Illinois though. Let's be honest.
What?
We talked about it in the Deshaun Mallory interview. The Illinois boys, Bolingbrook specifically.
We can hang with the best of them, but football is different down there, and so
they live and breathe it down there,
and places like that. So to see that on the stage of Friday Night Lights, and then of course you got to go with what's the other Adam Sandler movie where he got locked up? Longest Yard.
Oh, Longest Yard, dude. That's a great one.
That's one of my favorites. I got 3 Adam Sandler movies. I ain't shit. Of course, Remember the Titans though.
But yeah, I like your list. I think mine's a little better though. But I just playing.
What was on your list?
I had Glory Road, Friday Night Lights. I brought up.
Hey, Glory Road ain't on nobody's list. I'm picking Coach Carter over Glory Road. Samuel L., you got me fucked up. What's the one where my man's is Glory Road the one where they were in Texas?
Yeah, they were in Texas.
Yeah.
And he was going to
he
New
was
York
and girls college coach.
Yeah, that was it's a really good ass movie. If you haven't
That's
seen
not better than Coach Carter. Stop playing.
I think the basketball scenes are better. Let's see. Shit.
My man's shooting a 3. My man's Puerto Rican dude.
Oh yeah. I don't know his name off the top of my head.
That was
something Cruz. What was
Cruz.
Cruz.
Shout out to Cruz. But be having the memes on Facebook like, who would you rather shoot a three for you, Cruz, Steph, Clay?
Taking Cruz all day.
Me. They was like Cruz was the first one to pull up from half court and pull up from three and a
never missed either. But now the next one I got for you is, all right, we're gonna go GM mode again.
Mm-hmm.
You're a GM in the NFL. 5 guys that you would put on your team to change your franchise, change the trajectory of your franchise, get them from a loser to a winning franchise.
5 guys.
5 guys.
So
you want me to go first? I got a list.
I'll go first. I'm starting at the top. I gotta have Trent Williams.
Okay, now that's a good one. That's a good one.
I'm starting in the trenches because quarterbacks. You can have a phenomenal quarterback for your line. Shit, you out here hustling backwards. So of course I got to shore up the left side of my team with the best tackle in the game, and then you got to go to the best quarterback in the game. I might take Josh Allen low key.
That's a hot take right there. That's a hot take.
I'm taking Josh Allen is the Luka Doncic of the NFL.
It's not ridiculous.
So, or you could take Mahomes. Mm-hmm. I don't think you go wrong with the top of the top. If you look at the top 4 quarterbacks,
either of those two, you're
Tom, A-Rod, Mahomes, and Josh. Those are all Super Bowl contenders. They might all win a ring at one point, except for A-Rod. he already got his rings. He's cool on his. So I'm definitely taking him.
So Trent Williams, Josh Allen.
Yes. Then I'm going Aaron Donald. Of course, arguably one of the best players to ever play the game. Probably the best non-quarterback to ever play the game.
I like that choice because even if you ain't got no pass
3
rushers, he gets your defensive line straight.
Exactly.
You're always going to have a pass rush with him.
Exactly. And stopping the run and wreaking havoc. And the magnitude he pulls, everybody's going to have a one-on-one block.
Yeah.
So you just got to beat your man.
So who's the other 2?
So who's the other 2? That's a tough one. I might take Jalen Ramsey.
That's a great one.
Yes.
You have the pass rush and you have the secondary.
Exactly. A guy that can literally shut down the best player on the other side of the field. Mm-hmm. And then, as of today's game, obviously you could say Tom, but I'm looking long-term with this. So
all the guys that you got long-term are pretty decent. I think Donald's like 30 though, but Ramsey's, I think he's still in his 20s.
Right. Guys that got at least 4 years left. I mean, Donald could be done at any point based on what
his career is already set. He's going to be a Hall of Famer.
He's set. So his legacy is already written in stone. One more. Gotta take one more.
Running back, receiver. What are you thinking?
Shoot.
I mean, because Josh Allen could throw to anybody.
That's a fact. I might take Cooper Kupp.
That's a good list. That's a great list.
You know why?
Why?
He gonna block. He's gonna get open.
Mm-hmm.
He's the quarterback's best friend. And you saw that in the Super Bowl and in the NFC Championship. When Odell went down, there was no reason why he should be getting that many targets in a row and still catching them. So the fact that him and Matt were on such a page after just 1 year is frightening for the league. And I hope he stays healthy because obviously he tore his ACL. And once you get one, bro, it feels like the injuries just start to stack. Specifically when you get that ACL. So yeah, your career, your window for being great is shortened. So that's my only caveat with him. But outside of that, you got guys that do everything in their position spectrum the best. Aaron Donald does pass and rush the best. Defeats double teams the best. Josh Allen can throw and run the ball. with the best in the NFL. And then you look at Jalen Ramsey can play multiple positions. Cooper Kupp can play multiple positions and block and line up in the slot and get open regardless of the coverage and be a quarterback's best friend. So
I like the list. Now I'm going to try not to go too similar with you. I'm going to do my own thing with this one.
Your list is your list, bro. We can agree.
All right. So I think the one that obviously I'm going to stick with you on it, because coming into it, the first person I thought of was Aaron Donald.
Facts.
Aaron Donald's got to be on there. If you want to have a good defense, you got to have Aaron Donald on there.
Facts.
Or someone who can rush the pass rush.
Facts.
So offensive line, though, I went different than you. I did Quentin Nelson. I think interior, I think he's the best offensive lineman in the NFL still. So I think that's a good choice. Quarterback. Little bias. I'm probably the only one in America that will probably say this.
Don't tell me Justin Fields, dude, that ass nigga.
I'm gonna go Lamar Jackson. I think that's my guy too.
I was thinking him too.
You got to think, you want a dominant offense. You're only choosing, 5 guys for this franchise to turn them around. Mm-hmm. You're not probably going to get a running back because running back value is not that high. So let me get a quarterback that can pass and run the ball too. So
that's what I got too. Shit.
Receiver wise, I didn't say Cooper Kupp. I said a guy who's even younger. That's possibly getting up there with Cooper Kupp. Cool. Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
That's Lamar Jackson and Justin Jefferson together would be an unstoppable duo.
Yeah, no question. But I mean, damn, you look at the separation Justin Jefferson creates. Oh my God. Some of them games against the Bears, he was wide the fuck open. How?
Now,
how?
I didn't go Jalen Ramsey at corner, but I do like a young safety. Well, he's coming off an injury a year ago or 2 years ago, but last year, 100 tackles. Derwin James. I think he's probably best safety in the league right now. Young enough and coming. All the guys I got on the team, Aaron Donald's the oldest one. So I'm really confident about my list. Your list is pretty good. So let's see what other people think about that list. We'll post it on the gram. But now, so for the last one, I've seen some people come out and say, they were like, who would have the better season? I seen it on Twitter. Jamal Murray, Kawhi, or Zion coming off injury, who would have the better season?
That's tough. It definitely ain't Jamal Murray.
Dude, if we just put him back in the bubble, he was hooping.
Right. It was some bubble gods out here. Shout out to the bubble gods. Shout out to him if that was your contract year and you got blessed because of it. So, they turned the pandemic into a pandemic. But that's tough. Outside of Jamal Murray, because he shouldn't even be on that list.
He got injured, so he's on the list.
You can't compare him to Kawhi and fucking Zion, though. That's a tough question because you look at Zion, what he was able to do in the short amount of games that he's played, absolutely dominant. His motherfucking finish ratio is through the roof. If he get into the cup, he's scoring. And he's getting to the cup because he's 300 pounds. So
he looked good though in the recent.
Oh yeah, and he looks phenomenal. So I think he's younger, but he's dealt with injuries, and we've seen guys super explosive, and his weight too. That's a lot of pressure on the knees, and it's not sustainable to be that freakishly athletic at that size. So. That's the only caveat, but you look at Kawhi, he's getting up there in age, another injury. He already be sitting games as it is. So, I mean, damn.
So who would you pick to have play more games then? Zion or Kawhi?
I think Kawhi next year, but if we're looking at a long-term plan, you pick Zion.
I would have to go with Kawhi having the better year. I think,
of course,
him, people forgot about the type of player Kawhi is. I mentioned this before in one of my hot takes, but Kawhi is that guy. When he was healthy,
best player in the league.
Best player in the league. That's what I said. Is this boring? But
I've been locked in all day.
But best player in the league when healthy. Giannis, has been able to sit on his throne. Nobody, coming for his spot because KD choking in the playoffs and shit.
Kawhi will never be the best player.
was at. Let's go back to that Raptors year.
He could be the best player on the championship team, but he's not better than Giannis
in that series.
Well, that was before Giannis of now.
Hey, I'd like to see the matchup now. It probably wouldn't be a different outcome. Let me be honest.
Giannis big as hell, boy. He gonna slam Kawhi ass.
But I think Kawhi would have the better season out of those three. But let's get to a hot take of the week. What you got for hot take of the week? What do you want me to get?
Hot take.
I mean, you could say some of the shit you've been saying this episode.
What you trying to say? I thought I had some good takes. The NFL will appeal Deshaun Watson's 6-game suspension, and
he will get suspended.
Be suspended for the year.
I think a hot take would be. I think more of a hot take would be him getting the electric chair. What? Him going to jail for a long time. That's what mostly everybody wants. Him doing some real jail time. You know, something more substantial than 6 games.
Right.
But that's all we got for the show today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Keep checking up on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts. An episode's going to be on there soon, sometime soon. But, you know, technical difficulties, all that we're still dealing with, you know, we'll continue to say it. Continue to blame somebody else.
Fair enough.
But thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. As always, peace.
All right. Hot take. I prepared for this.
Okay.
Packers
versus Bills Super Bowl.
Okay. I'm not mad about
Packers. Are you y'all are Wisconsin fans, right? Yeah.